So, hey gamers, it's Treesters here, and today, basically I've gotten requests on how do I digitally color. So I'm going to show you how to do it in Paint Tool SAI and Medibang, however you pronounce it, in Firealpaca. So I'm going to start with Paint Tool SAI because this is what I use most and what I'm most comfortable with, I guess. I'm going to do it real time because all the times I've tried doing this, basically I just suck at editing. So I did the line art before. It's kind of uneven, and I'm sorry about that. I kind of didn't put work into it this time, but I did with the poses, and I'm really proud of Kelly's pose right here. So this one right here is Kelly, and this one is Dawn. These two are for my series Daydreams. There might be jump cuts in this because I don't know how to speak properly. So, okay, we're gonna lay down our flat colors. So I'm going to teach you I'm gonna have two different examples because I do, cell shading, I guess, and then I do one where I kind of blend out the shading part. I don't know. I see people ask in comment sections all the time, especially in speed paints, they're like, why are you coloring the skin like black, or why are you coloring it like a neon color? Isn't it supposed to be, OC's skin color? Yeah, but here's the thing. Sometimes when you have a white character, Caucasian, whatever, or a really pale character, for instance, let's take Dawn's skin color, sometimes you can't get good bits here. Sometimes you can't. You put it on like this, you see you've got, missing spaces right here. It's easier for the artist to see. So for instance, like if you're filling an area like this, you're like, there's a little tidbit right there. It helps with the face too. If you do these type of anime eyes, I guess. I really don't consider my style anime, but at this point it's whatever. Okay, I'll show you with Dawn. So I'll grab her skin color. And so in here you can just, I guess, clip the layer to preserve opacity. And you can just go over it like that, or you can do Control F, and then bam, it's quicker. This is also personal preference, but I like to add blushing characters to my art if you haven't seen. If you're wondering, how do I do that? How do I even do that? How do you do that and erase all of it so perfectly? Well, Clipping Group is your friend. Or the preserving opacity, but if you want to do it with different modes, layer effects, then you use Clipping Group. So for my blushies, I like to change the airbrush to a spread for the texture. I think you don't see it much, but it's it's the little things that count. And so you can turn this little transparency on and you can erase instead of using the actual eraser, which is helpful in some situations, but I never tend to use it. So let me color in Kelly's skin real quick. She's got a lot of skin on her because I drew her in a different outfit for once. Now I like to merge the blushies layer with the skin layer because well, number one, it makes my computer not lag out when I have so many layers. Sometimes artists do this, but you can add little blushies on the shoulders and stuff. I sometimes do it, but I like doing it on the knees. I don't know, just add light blushies. You don't have to do this, it's style choice. So I do the same thing with hair usually if the hair is too light, like for instance blonde characters. When it comes to that, I don't, need to do it. But for ombre hair, I just put my airbrush back to normal and I grab the hair that is her natural hair color. So her natural hair color is brown. Do Control F, and I keep this layer locked unless you want to build up the gradient. You can do a clipping layer, or you can just, do the preserve opacity. Airbrush is pretty soft, so I kind of have to really go at it pretty hard to where I want it to go at, and then I go lift up softer. So her ombre ends or starts right about right in that area. So you kind of have to just either find a place or whatever. Some people use a blur tool. I just use the airbrush because why not? And so with Dawn's hair, I do the same thing. Mind you, these are all on separate layers. I am not the type of person who can just do it all in one layer because it's too much work, and in case I need to change colors, I don't want to have to like select and stuff, and I don't know. And then after, usually I like to color in the eyes and any like objects that are above the clothes layer. If you're especially making transparent images, you're going to want to color in the eyes like this, and then preserve opacity, and then make it white or whatever color your character's eyes are? Sclera? I don't know what they're called, I forgot. And so I like to add a little shade up in the eyes, like this. I like to make teeth off-white, because it's not a hygiene thing, it's more like teeth aren't pure white unless you Photoshop them. Oh, and then so what I do is I hide this layer that the eyes are on. So color in this eye, you know, color in the eyes, and then I do like these bottom ones because those are like, you know, like the reflectiveness. So like you could choose either one of these as your base color. That's just how I set up my reference. So I should probably be more clear on that next time. I like to color eyes, but in like, not so much, it's like a gradient, but it's like bold. You know, you're not using an airbrush tool or anything. And then I'll do the same with Kelly's. And I merge those layers so, you know, they're on the same layer, and then I can like edit later. I add the pupils and the eye shiny like when I'm coloring the line art. So, you know, they're gonna look a bit dead for a bit. So next is clothing. Okay, let me grab her color, the color of her tank top and jeans. So this is her outfit. So you're gonna wanna do whatever layer is like easier to color and is above, like for instance, like with Dawn's outfit, you wanna color her poncho first. Or you could color her sleeves first. But that, you know, preference yet again, whatever is easier. I bucket tool everything, which is probably bad, but you know, it's like that when you are on a time schedule. When you color pick, this is her outfit color, you know. I like to color pick images, but then I like edit them a little too much. And we're gonna color Kelly's jeans, or shorts, jean shorts, jorts? Yes. We're gonna color pick the image yet again, and she's kind of have an acid wash look to it. So, yeah, that's all I have to say for that. It's also a good idea to save whatever line art you do, whatever line art color you use. I, as a preference, I use a brown because I have learned throughout my art years that using black line art just doesn't cut it for me. Doesn't pop for me. Unless I'm doing a really dark, you know, a character that's wearing black, then I'll maybe go for like black line art. So color the button a different color. What is it? Brown? Let's do Dawn's undershirt, which is gonna be, I think I'm gonna do a brown this time. I don't like using straight up gray either, so that sucks for me, I guess. Whatever. I'm a coward when it comes to coloring, bro. I don't like using grays or blacks. Unless the character has it, then I'll deal with it. Also, Kelly has a layer of this, so yeah. After that, I like to hide all the layers now and do some shading dirty work. Oh, that's her skin. Okay, so we're doing skin. Right. I usually do hair on top of skin. The skin, okay, so I just want to say my coloring style is very influenced by the guy who created Hetalia, Hideka's Himaruya, I think, that's how you pronounce it. So, as like a younger teen, I often would copy his art. Not copy, but I would highly reference his art and his shading style. So if you're starting to notice like, what does that mean? I just kind of picked it up and it's in my art now. So the skin, you can choose whatever color you want. So it's going to be a little darker. So we're going to use that without clipping. And so you're going to just want to shade any darker parts, I guess. So like parts that you're not going to actually go into and start cell shading at, but like things that are a bit in darker areas, like her neck will be like a bit darker right here, and her forehead. I might want to add some right here. You don't want to go overboard with this because it's like you're not going to really notice it too much. Set that on multiply, and you can see right here, oh look, you know, different shading. So you're going to want to lower that a lot though. So you're going to unclip that and then hide it real quick, and then hide this skin layer. And then you're going to want to go here, don't clip it though, because then it's going to hide and you can't draw anymore, and it says it's not visible. So I want to do that. And you're going to, I go right about here, I think, for skin. You can always test that out too, if it looks good or not. That looks good. And so you can start shading, and I just scribble along whatever seems good for me. That's why it's probably not so good for me, but I do whatever at this point. Color the hands right there, because they're slightly bent, and I don't think the shading makes any sense. But it is what it is, I guess. I often don't give my characters an environment to be in, so it's sometimes like, doesn't really matter. However, when you're giving your character an environment, that is very important. Okay, so now that I'm done with her skin, I can clip this all to the layer, and it's on multiply already, and I like to just lower the opacity a bit. I feel like that may be too much, but yeah, I'm gonna fix the shading, thus the airbrush, and it looks a bit better. With shinies, I grab a lighter color, usually like in between like an orange and a yellow, and then I put on the luminosity layer, set it really low, and I just make little dots across the cheek. That's also a Hideous thing. You can blur it too. It makes it look glowy. She's glowing. And then I do another luminosity layer and go here, grab the airbrush, make it big, and go ham. You set a luminosity and it's like, whoa! But then you want to lower it, so it's like, she's glowing. Not really. It's just the light hitting. Yeah, that's how I do skin at least. And so we're just gonna go in the same thing as Dawn with the things. So she doesn't have that much shading. Typically this is how much shading I usually do on my characters, so like Kelly's was like, oh, a lot of shading. Hair coloring, my favorite part. Not really. Yes, I don't know. I like coloring a lot. To do two different things, because with ombre hair it's a bit harder. Not really, but it's weird because you gotta like make sure it matches both colors, and if it doesn't, then you're like, ah. I like to do one color, not like multiple colors at once, but if you like to do that, you do you. So when you're dealing with hair, multiply layer again. That's the tea. You want to test a lot. Oh, see, like I already got a good color, I think. That's usually the color I use for Kelly anyways. So you gotta hide the layer again, then you're gonna wanna just, go at it again. It's just, I don't know, it's not really, there's not much to talk about in this area, because it's like, I just do it. It's a natural thing at this point. Anyways, we're done shading the hair, so we're gonna clip it, and then you can adjust it, and you can adjust the color too, so I might make this more pink, reddish. So yeah, ta-da! This is complicated because I also picked this up from Maria. Color pick the hair right there, and go across like this, right in the middle. Grab this, make it multiply. Ooh, spooky. And then I go across it with the erasers. It's got a bold line right there, and then like, spreading out. And then I lower it. Sometimes you have to adjust it because it looks too gross and so like that. And then I go to paint effects, and then you go to effect, and then fringe. And then that's it. And you can adjust if you want to like make it more visible or not. Fringe just makes the line more visible right there, you see? I only use that with this little line thingy right here. The shading, this, especially with hair, this is really important with environment. So she's not anywhere right now, so I'm just gonna do a light pink. And then, so here's a luminosity, make it like that. And you lower it down a bit, because I add another one. You can tell I use luminosity too much. And so I go over it again slightly, and then I grab the skin color right here, and do it around the hair. So, and then I'll add, I don't know if it'll work on this, because luminosity and shade kind of depends on what you're using. If you're using a darker color, it'll be dark. So, and then I do shades. Oh, okay, it's not gonna work that well. So we can go back to the luminosity layer, make it like this, and then I add just little 2 marks. I I promised this, and I know I did. I didn't promise, but I said I would. And so let me just show you how I do the blurring of the cell shading. So I'm gonna grab this layer real quick, and then I'm gonna, you know, whatever isn't hard enough gets to be drifted off. I don't know how to explain how I usually do this. Let's do Dawn's hair real quick. So with Dawn's, I have a hard time finding anything that, you know, shades her hair correctly, so I have to go like kind of more with the grays because it either looks too light or, you know, I should probably test that out actually. So this is perfect actually, because sometimes it'll be like too late and it looks bad. I don't know how to say it. So now we're gonna do clothing. Clothing, hey, mamma mia. I'm not good with ruffles, not good with skirts, but you know, we'll make do with it. Back to the skin thing that I did with the little airbrush tool. Yeah, we're gonna do that again. Got pink. I'm gonna go like that all over it. So multiply layer, you can make it like, you know, a bit redder if you want. I'm not sure how to explain this either. So, you know, kind of just find your areas. So with these wavy lines, you kind of want to color, I think, in the middle, I believe. And so, see, it looks nice. So I like to, with shading, I just kind of, whatever. So with jeans, sort of do the same thing, I guess, with the shading. I should probably mention that I am doing the Firealpaca video separately, just because I realize it's getting late and I would like to post this at an earlier time. Firealpaca and Medibang are free to download, actually. You can get them on your phone. I believe it's available for both Apple and Android. You can use it for Windows and Mac, so that makes everything a lot easier. It's compatible with everything. It's got a lot of great tools. You can make comics with it. You can make pretty much anything. It's like a dumbed down Photoshop, I believe, or Clip Paint Studio. However, you know, Clip Paint Studio and Photoshop both cost money. Okay, so that's her, and I think we're actually finished Color Kelly. So yay! Now we can go on to Dawn, and we get to learn more softer shading, I guess, I would assume. So with ponchos, it's hiding most of the body. So I actually made a joke and I said, you know, if you're bad with bodies, hide it under a poncho. Because, you know, like when you're bad at hands, you hide them behind the back or you make them really big sleeves. Yeah. So here, okay, I'm going to color the pupils real quick. Okay, there we go. And then I add a little shade right here underneath the shading of the eye. But that also depends. So with coloring line art, very tedious process at times. So you're going to want to make a clipping layer. What I do is I grab the darkest color I can find and then I move it a bit. And then, see? Ta-da! I don't remember when I started coloring my line art. I think this might be a recently new stylistic choice. But I love it. I love it so much. See, it adds like a little something to your, you know, this like, you know, this is fine, but like, this adds more, it adds volume, I think. I used to do gradient line art too, so like I'll test it on Dawn. Dawn will be experimental, and so we're gonna do that with hers right here. So what I like to do is that like I like to make it brighter, and then I used to go like this. Make it brighter? Yeah, like that. So like I would do it in the middle of the mouth, and do it like here, here, and here, I think. So you can't really tell, I guess. you can kind of tell between Dawn and Kelly, you know, the different styles. Ooh. Do I want to color that line art maybe? I don't know, I'm just gonna say whatever and just do it anyways. So if you want to know how I make my colors like really cool and sparkly, I guess, I can do that too. I can do a folder and I can clip it and then I can like do this. Well, bam. So I like to luminosity my art. Then I can add a bit more shading or lighting. Whoa. Oh, words, hello. But I really used to just go ham and not care my picture to be too bright, and I feel like I still do that now. Oh, with creating borders too in here, you can do that. So what I do is I do color difference and I turn that all the way down. Then I use a magic wand, do that, and just get me spaces that would be filled. And okay, this is invert selection. And then, so I think I have this hotkeyed. Control 1, Control 1, Control 1, and then I hit Control F and then Control D. So Control D is deselect, and then Control F is to fill the tool bucket. And I can click this, make it white, and then I can copy it, put that under, and then I can make it like a brown, let's say, and then preserve the opacity, do that. And get the Gaussian blur? I don't know how to say it. And I can go like this, and whoa, they're like 3D stickers, so cool. And you can move it around however you want. And you can look like this, you can make it like that. Oh, maybe not like that, but like this. So yeah, that's how I do my diddly-do thing in Paint Tool SAI. If you need any like pen settings or whatever, don't be afraid to ask for them. I will, you know, send them to you. If you ever have like an idea for a video tutorial that's, you know, that I can voice over, don't be afraid to ask. So hopefully I will soon drop the Medibang Firealpaca tutorial. It can help you a lot too, in case you use that program. Those are the only two programs I will do tutorials on, because I have enough experience in them where I'm confident enough I can teach other people, I think. Thank you for watching. I probably won't do most videos like this. I typically just stick to animation memes and speed paints and live streaming every now and again. So, you know, if you're subscribing, make sure you know you're subscribing to that. So, see you guys later.